Human immunodeficiency virus, better known as HIV, has claimed 25 million lives since its identification on December 1st, 1981. It is the most widely recognized sexually transmitted disease as it is only spread by direct contact between contaminated body fluids, such as blood or semen. Most cases are spread by sexual contact, and this fact illustrates the situation of sex workers in Asia. There are currently 8.6 million people living with HIV/AIDS in Asia, and there are also tens of thousands of women, teens, and preteens working as sex slaves in this area and the surrounding areas. Many of the women expect as little as $1.50 per night in exchange for sex, $2 on a busy night, but less than $1 on a bad night. Additionally, men will pay more for sex without protection, which is the primary reason that over half of these workers are HIV positive. When women rely on sex to support their families, they will choose money over safety because their income depends on the welfare of their families. These powerless women are essentially slaves, many of which have been sold into this multi-million-dollar trade by their brothers, fathers, or extended family members. Many of the youngest girls, some as young as 9 or 10, were kidnapped from other countries and sold into this twisted business. Regardless of how these women entered the business, majority of them remained uninformed about the dangers of HIV. HIV is the period of time during the disease when the virus is latent, leading up to the time when the virus becomes active in a person's body, and AIDS is officially recognized as a series of disorders that result from HIV's destruction of the immune system that ultimately results in death. Last year, 630,000 people died from AIDS-related diseases in Asia alone. This age-sex pyramid shows that there is high birth rate in this is a graph of Thailand, which is a developing country, and majority of the countries that have these slaves are developing countries, and there's a high birth rate, but then largely due to the epidemic of HIV and AIDS, the population sharply declines at around age 50. There are several simple steps we can take to decrease the spread of HIV, but they are unfortunately not used in many of these countries due to the conservative nature of their governments and religions. The solution to this massive problem lies in basic education and prevention, essentially teaching women about using condoms. To many, giving aid and educating sex workers is equal to empowering and encouraging prostitutes. However, this is an unacceptable and unsympathetic belief. These women are forced into this trade and will be killed if they exhibit any attempt to run away. The only way to help these women is to educate them. The city of Calcutta, India, is notoriously poor and overpopulated. It is located on the banks of a river, and one would expect it to be exceptionally vulnerable to the spread of disease due to the extreme poverty, contaminated water, and extremely active red light district. The HIV rate, however, is extremely low, and the red light district of Calcutta has the lowest percentage of HIV-positive workers of any red light district in the country. This is due to the basic health care and education given in this city. The women are educated on using condoms, the severity of HIV, and basic sanitation, and the resulting effects have been a severe decline in the occurrence of HIV in this area. It is vital and necessary to get health care to these enslaved women, and that is why I'm asking for funding to support basic health care initiatives in India, and all over Asia. This cannot and should not be seen as empowering prostitutes. Helping these women and educating them could eventually allow them to escape their hellish way of life and will ultimately lead to a better life for themselves and their families. Africa is not the only continent affected by HIV/AIDS, and the plight of these ignored and disenfranchised women needs immediate attention in order to effect change and ensure that necessary improvements are made in these places.